ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Evening, greetings to all those that have continued to support and join us. Thank you for continuing your journey with the offerings of the center. The Flame Center has been offering solutions right from the word go. We haven't been talking about just the issues, the problems, but offering practical solutions through meditations, through how to improve immunity, etc. And we want to continue that theme of providing solutions. So, for all those people who got in touch with us following the confusion regarding wearing masks or not wearing masks, and the distress and the mental anguish that it's causing people, young people, old people, people from different communities. Um, it's there's nothing wrong with us in feeling having that response, and it's a response to feeling threatened. And therefore, if something is being imposed on you and that you feel, and this is now a very important opportunity for us to learn. If something does not feel right, which is what we said months ago, we need to learn not to do it. If something does not feel right, so if the imposition of putting masks on or walking into a situation and everyone is looking at you and you're feeling peer pressure, whether you've got one on or you haven't got one on, depending on the circumstances, or you're not social distancing enough, this is all adding to feeling threatened, feeling that we're under threat. There is a concern, there is a threat to us, and this triggers off the flight fight response system. This flight fight response system then triggers off all the physiological changes. That feeling of anxiety is as a result. Okay, so this is a natural response to being threatened. So learn that to recognize that response, apply meditation, and now there is research to show the sober meditation that the Flame introduced 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 3 minutes meditation to come out, has been now shown to be extremely effective in reducing the need for addictive behavior, particularly alcohol, etc. So again, we can use meditation, and this is why we tried consistently to provide you with a variety of different meditation techniques to enable us to use them under these circumstances. So where are we now? Well, we are now heading into the month of August and September, and this period, from our calculations and analysis and understanding, is a moment of changes to do with, again, the expression of rage and anger. That people are feeling resentful, people are feeling concerned about losing their jobs, and especially when they find out that a lot of this stuff has just been cooked. Even now, the figures are coming through, which are demonstrating that many tests have been double counted or triple counted. And these exaggerated figures, then the media has just used them in order to propagate a message, and the message has always been to do with fear. So the result of this ongoing pandemic, or scamdemic, or plandemic, however you want to define it, you can see, well, no, not everyone's dead. Not, not, we haven't got people lying on the streets dying. We haven't got huge number of cats, dogs that are dead. We don't have, just people just falling off and just dying. No. Look at your own subjective experience. If you're listening to this, the chances are you're alive, right? And the chances are, have a look around you. How many people do you know that have actually died from this virus, and knowing that they've died from this virus, not the fact that they had a heart attack or a car crash and it was certified as this virus. So as more and more this information begins to come out, remember we were saying that by the end of July, there is a level of exposure of just the whole situation, the politics, the child trafficking, and some of the other heinous stuff behind it. When as this begins to become more and more apparent over the next 2 months, 3 months, many of us are going to have to question what we've been led to believe. And this is where, again, we're just simply trying to provide you with understanding that the continuous stress on the population is going to lead to mental health deterioration. It's going to lead to depression. It's going to lead to a higher increase in suicides. It already is taking people there. People who are strong enough, people who work in mental health, have been contacting me in order to get support for the anxiety that they've been feeling. So you can understand that even the so-called practitioners are starting to have an impact. Then those people who are vulnerable in this area, those people whose jobs are dependent on the economy recovering, uh, are obviously going to go through a lot of really what may turn out to be unnecessary stress induced by the politics, and equally responsible the mind control media, the mainstream bullshit. And therefore, we see in August, September, an increase in this realization as exposure comes through. We see that as a result of it, people are starting to now understand also the importance of building their immunity, the importance of decluttering, the importance of not engaging in anything that induces fear, anger, anxiety, worry in you. Just do not engage in it. Do not engage in it. Avoid it at all costs. And make a concerted effort. If you wake up feeling a bit low, you wake up feeling a bit anxious, make a concerted effort. First to recognize it, this is what its feeling is, and then recognize what is that feeling telling you. Is there something really to be anxious of, or is it just that the propaganda has been getting to you? And in which case, meditation, ground yourself outside, a bit of exercise, qigong, tai chi, anything like that, just to bring yourself in your body. You'll be fine. The body is a self-healing system. The body is a self-healing system with its own immune system. And its immune system is so sophisticated and it is so intelligent that you don't need masks. You don't need vaccinations. You don't need these whole external interventions if your immune system is strong, if your immune system is healthy. And we can ensure that by 3 or 4 very simple things. Absolute necessity for meditation. If you do not meditate, as we were saying earlier on, back 2, 3 months ago, that meditation is going to become increasingly important as we go through this change and transition. So, determined, disciplined, sitting down, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, at least twice a day, spending time in nature, spending time near running water, spending time with your feet bare on the ground, spending time with movement, moving the body. These are the things that will start improving your immunity, right? The meditation, because health begins in the mind. Isn't it strange that they're offering us masks, they're offering us gloves, they're offering us social distancing, they're offering us that we can't touch things, they're offering us that we can't meet people, they're offering us all this plethora of safety. But hardly anyone is talking about the immune system, the body's own system to fight pathogens. And you know what? Millions of such viruses have come and millions will come in the future. Life and death are not in the hands of others. It's in the hand of existence. You will not determine whether your heart beats tomorrow or not. If it's not going to beat, it ain't going to beat. That's all there is to it. You can artificially induce it for a while, but when things are coming to an end, they're coming to an end. And we have to take this broader view, have to take this greater view of understanding. Existence is in charge. Even these stupid, heinous activities is effectively existence playing itself, because the whole thing, according to certainly my experience and my worldview, is it's a play. Life existence is a play, it's a game. It's a game not to be won. It's a game to be played. And to play a game, we need to leave our egos behind, because egos always want to control, egos always want to win, right? So you can see how the ego is now suppressing the dominant tyrant ego, is our collective ego, which we call government. Remember, govern, to control, ment, your mind. Government, that's where the word government comes from. And this government um, governs your mind because it's an ego. It's a macro ego. It's a political ego. It's a political ego with its own understanding of control, because that's always what the ego is looking for. It's looking for control. So what are we going to come across? Well, now this next few months, my expectations and my colleagues' expectations are that this is really where we are going to start to, circumstances will make us question our identity. It will make you question your identity. And we are going to learn very, either we can make it easy for ourselves, or it's going to be painful. And what are we going to learn? We are going to learn that really this illusion that we've been living in a kind of a semi-hypnotic state, which is called Maya. In the semi-hypnotic state, what has happened is we have created a reality, what we consider to be our life reality, that's based on our identity. This identity is always seeking security, stability. And as a result, we are in an illusion. Why are we in an illusion? Because remember, everything has a start, middle, end, right? So this security that the ego identity always seeks. So if religious people in particular have these identities, and they will do everything in order for that identity to be confirmed. The same is true for those people who are panicked and freaked out because of all the propaganda they've allowed to penetrate their conscious. So for them, they will protect their identity by fighting all those people who will say, hold on a second, let me question this. Let me question this. So you will notice that if you do not comply, then really you're made like a scapegoat. You are made like, oh, this person's a nutter, or this person's paranoid, or doesn't care for us. That's why they are being selfish. Don't accept any of that bullshit, right? If your inner space tells you, if you know for yourself where you stand, you don't need others to determine your life. You do not need others to determine your life. We can stand by ourselves. We do not need to build our strength on other people's stupidity and inability to critically think. And I am shocked at times that so-called educated people are unable to actually look at both sides of the argument and draw a conclusion. However, they can't. The reason they can't is because of protection of this identity. So once we accept, as I said to you last week, once we accept this existence for what it is, life, death, black, white, it's a duality. It's a duality. Don't get too caught up in one side or another. Just try and see both sides equally. Equally. You don't need to have one or the other. So, what advice can I offer you today? Well, the solution I can offer you today is, in this process of decluttering, there are some questions you can ask yourself that would be really valuable. The first question is, who or what depletes you? Who or what depletes you? Ask yourself this question. What is it that you're doing in everyday life? If you had to make a list of it and looked at that list, how many of those activities or people that you come into contact with or watch the news, etc., depletes you? And you will notice that if your list contains the news, it will be something that depletes you. If it contains mainstream propaganda, it will deplete you. But I would suggest you make your own list. Who, and these are the individuals around you, you know the ones who are just, unable to see the wood for the trees, unable to really think or articulate outside their worldview, unable to accept anyone else's worldview, irrespective of their experience, their education, and their understanding. But it's okay, everyone to themselves. So, who depletes you? And there are relationships that deplete us. There's relationships that deplete us. So, trying to now understand that these relationships are really a burden. They're a burden. If something is depleting you, it's a burden. Let go of it. Time to let go. Time to start thinking for your own sense of self. And if the world calls you selfish, such is life. No one's going to come and give a certificate when you're breathing your last breath and say, oh, by the way, or say, hey, you can have 20 of my breaths because you were such a great person and you listened to what I told you. No one's going to do that. You will breathe your last breath. All that you see around you, doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what relationship is, no one can help you. Why? Because in this journey, we come alone and we go alone on this journey. But we go through the illusion that we are not alone when we're living our life. So remember, everything is in change, therefore you can't hold on to anything. If we can understand these basic principles of existence, it can make our mental space a lot healthier. So, who and what depletes you? Secondly, why are you allowing it? Why are you allowing yourself to be depleted, to be influenced? Why are you allowing? Well, and we can realize that we have a choice. We have a choice for mental immunity. We have a choice to exercise emotional immunity. So we're not going to be bullied, which is emotional immunity, because this emotional, which is really kind of the emotional blackmailing that's going on in the background, whether you wear a mask or whether you social distance or whatever you do. There is a way of kind of making you feel guilty if you do not comply with what is meant to be complied by the government, those that have your best interest. When has that ever been shown? When has that ever been shown? Right? The banks have taken you for a ride. Your medical system's been taking you for a ride. The government's taken you for a ride again and again and again. But please, sir, may I have more? Please, sir, may I have more? Seems to be the way the sheep bleat. But if that's what they want, such is life, everyone to their own. However, now is the time for us to take control of our mental space, understand that our worldview is not the only version of reality. Let's go to the basis of existence. What is reality? Forget about everything else. What can we call real and experience every day consistently? Is it logical? Is it consistent? Is it experiential? Three questions that will make your worldview, is it right or wrong? Is it consistent? Well, the worldview is that if I keep looking at the present moment, it's always changing. Yep, it's consistent. Two, if something is changing, does it remain the same? No, so I can't hold on to it. Yeah. Is it consistent? Is it experiential? And is it something that I can experience and see the logic behind it? And all three of these questions are answered when we look at existence to be that which is changing, that which will never bring you lasting satisfaction. In other words, you're not going to live forever, because that's one of the inherent ego spaces that we live in. That the ego wants. It's like the shadow. When I talk about the ego is the shadow. So there is you, which is the awareness. So imagine that to be your body, or what you consider to be you, just for an analogy, right? And the shadow is the ego. The shadow is the ego, meaning that it exists only as long as you are, but in its everyday function, it controls your activity because it is conditioned, and is conditioned for a number of things. Okay, so who or why, or who or what depletes you? Why are you allowing it? But please ask yourself the question, Am I trusting my gut or am I trusting my ego? If something feels wrong, it's gut. If the mind then comes and talks you into it, it's the ego. Recognize the ego working. We don't need to kill it. We don't need to destroy the ego. We simply need to recognize it. And as you recognize it, you can make a discerning choice whether you need to follow it or not. So declutter, my friends. Time is now. We've got another 25 days of this energy going around. Um, so the other things I did mention in terms of our health, which a lot of people responded to and confirmed, was that there are sudden kind of memory loss, but it's quite prominent. It's quite prominent, but it's just short-term memory loss. Also, physical purging, uh, verbal, emotional, and physical purging as well. Depletion that comes in very, very quickly, tiredness, aches and pains that appear quite quickly, headaches, and then obviously this need to kind of feed yourself, this uncontrollable need to eat sweet things or stuff. Obviously, the impact also is on our sleep, which begins to lessen now or is broken number of times during the night. And whenever we are feeling anything like this, stop, take time out. Stop, take time out. Your meditation is critical, my friends. Your meditation is critical. Life is now taking us to a place where we have to make some choices. And one of the choices is, do I hold on to that which creates so much mental anxiety and distress and fear within me? Or do I have a choice? Well, it's up to you to see where you're at. Increase your meditation, increase physical movement. Okay, so we're going to go into our meditation. And once again, we're going to try and combine a number of things. So we're going to go through the mindfulness first and body scan and become just aware of ourselves in our place. We will then use the sound hard, and I would suggest that we use it again. We utter it so we can hear it. Then we reduce the volume and we just mutter it. That's like the second space. And then the third one is that we mentally recite it. And then we synchronize that with our breath and slowly start reducing the volume until we get a feeling towards the heart. When we get there, you are welcome to put your hands there if you want. If you don't want to, it's okay, but your focus should be around there. And then we're going to listen from that point and just become still in ourselves. Okay, so are we ready? So closing your eyes and closing your mouth. Just make sure your neck isn't stiff. And as you breathe in, bring your focus to yourself. Begin to notice your physical body. Notice if your back is straight, and if it's not, just straighten it. The lotus position is the best position for awareness. Bring your focus to the seat you're on, and first notice how well you are held in that place. Meaning that your body, it's not you that is holding the body there, but your seat is holding you. In other words, you can allow yourself to relax and allow whatever space is holding you to truly support you. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. Are those sensations comfortable or uncomfortable? Are they sharp or are they diffused? As you breathe in, bring your focus upwards so you become aware of your hips. As you breathe out, bring your thighs all the way to your knees. Awareness on your thighs. Thighs, you bring this focus down towards your ankles, taking your time, meticulous, deliberate, aware. And then from your ankles, move your focus to your feet. From your feet, move your focus to the bottom of your feet as best as you can. As you breathe in, bring your focus back to the seat or the chair you're sitting on. Notice the sensation. And then as you breathe in, bringing your focus to your lower back. Stay there. And it's a good idea to stay there for breaths. And then as you breathe in, bringing your focus even further up towards your middle back. Next breath in, bring this focus up towards your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. Notice they're not hunched. Bring your focus down to your elbows. From your elbows to your wrists. To the palms of your hands. Coming to the fingers on your hands. Move to the face. Relaxed. If not, allow it to relax. Notice your eyes. Notice that they're actually closed gently. There's no force in holding your eyelids down. There's no effort. Notice the darkness behind your eyes, so to speak. So in other words, you still have awareness, but you have awareness of darkness. Allow this part of the body to relax and soften. Move to your mouth. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations in your mouth. And once again, allow your face to soften and relax. And now as you breathe in, again bringing your focus to yourself. Take your focus now to the chest. Notice how you feel in this moment now. On your next breath out, open your awareness, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Allow the sounds to come to you. Notice if there's any sounds in front of you. Are there any sounds behind you? To the right of you? To the left of you? And they're just sounds from all around you. Listening. Listening. And through our listening, we follow this sound of this bell as far as we can. Listening. No commentary, no judgment, just listening. When you're ready, slowly bring your focus beneath your nose, draw a slow, deep breath in, and hold that breath. And relax. Your commitment and intention is to hold your focus beneath your nose. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Watch the in breath as it comes in. Watch the out breath as it goes out. When you find that your focus has drifted, you're distracted by a sound or a thought, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Simply watch the breath as best as you can. Stay with your breath. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to draw a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to say the sound so. And as you breathe in, you're going to say the sound so. Next breath out. So. So we're just doing it with the breath out. So. So when you're ready, deep breath in. Once again. So. Once again. Bring your focus just beneath your nose. Watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Notice if there's anything you can feel or sense within the body itself. On your next breath in, we're still going to go soham as we breathe out, but this time we whisper it so only we can hear it, although you'll be able to hear mine. So, and again. So, once again. So, come back to your breath. Notice what's going on within your body. Stay with it. And now, synchronized with your breath, as you breathe in, you say so. As you breathe out, you say hum. Within yourself, allow your breath to breathe by itself. So on the breath in within yourself, hum on the out within yourself. Keep your focus on hum on the breath out. Notice how the soul begins as soon as the breath begins to move in. And it finishes exactly in breath. There's a tiny little silence and then the hum begins. And the hum goes all the way until there's a tiny little silence. Pause. See if you can notice those two pauses on either side of the so and the hum. Breathing in, you say so to yourself. Breathing out, you say hum to yourself. Noticing exactly when the sound begins, it ends. Notice the little gap of silence before the next sound. Keep your focus on the two silent pauses on either side of your breath, allowing your breath to breathe by itself. Stay with the soul, stay with the hum. And now see if you can start to lower the volume within yourself with every breath out. Stay with the sound until it becomes almost like a pulse, deep in your heart. Stay with the sound. Intently listening to it. So when you're ready, we'll go to the sound of this bell. Move into the silent space from where we can hear this pulse. On your next breath out, moving your focus away from the pulse and simply following this bell. Allow yourself to completely let go and merge with the silence at the end of this bell. This place of silence is your essence. Beyond death, timeless. Simply awareness and being. Compassion flowing through you like an experience of life itself. Know that life is compassionate. Know that life is self-healing. Know that life is for your highest good. Allow all that does not serve us to recognize your divinity, your dignity, your integrity. Just the intention to smile can light up the body from within. Taken time out to sit with your sacred self. And that is devotion, that is prayer, and that is grace. When you hear the next bell, bring your focus towards your breath. Begin to draw some deep breaths in, and then slowly, gently opening your eyes. Take your time. Slowly drawing some deep breaths in. And with every breath in, sensing your body. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. Apologies if I went on for a bit long today in the meditation. Remember, you are looked after. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you be safe. Time to declutter. Time to ask yourself the question, who and what depletes me? And why am I? Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru